Welcome back to Trending on Shaw. It is a sport, sort of quilting. One thing I've learned is that it doesn't involve needles. No, Candice, it involves a sewing machine.
A sewing machine.
So all of this work in front of you, or in front of us, is work that you've done on a sewing machine.
Majority of it, yes.
This is the art of quilting.
The art of quilting.
Kate and I were having a discussion real briefly that Kate did it when she was just a youngin.
I think I made a square once.
Yeah.
A tile to go on a quilt.
Did it look like any of these pieces here?
No, I think it was probably hand drawn on with some fun colors.
Yeah. And those are things you can do as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember my grandmother doing a little bit of quilting, and my mom to some degree, but I stayed away from this. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's too meticulous. Is this a lost art?
I think it's definitely coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Along with knitting.
Along with knitting.
And why do you think that is?
You know, what goes around comes around, you know, type of thing. Yeah.
So all of the pieces that we have in front of us here that you've brought along, these are works that you've actually done yourself.
I've done them all myself. Yes.
Okay, well we have to ask you some favorites here.
Oh,
well, what's this one here? We've got the bag.
That is the little penguin bag I made when the penguins came to the Calgary Zoo.
Oh.
And so I made a little bag, so when I go to the zoo, I carry my little penguin bag with me. Carries my cell phone, you know, just a few little things. So, you know, quilting isn't just big, huge quilts for beds. It can be all sorts of things. It can be little things, just as simple as a little purse.
And then we also have a sign here.
Right, a wall hanging, definitely.
A wall hanging.
You can put the wall, you know, a little quilt on your wall. Makes for a nice memento.
And then another beach bag here
Well,
as
that's actually a grocery bag. I use it as a grocery bag. In the center of it is an old t-shirt. I resurrected the old t-shirt and turned it into a grocery bag. So when I go grocery shopping, it makes it a lot more eventful.
Oh, there's a smart idea.
Yeah.
What about this item here with chickens? Chickens!
That's a rag quilt.
I'm sorry, a what?
A rag quilt. And you'll notice
it's a rag quilt.
It's ragged.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yes.
And so on this side, there's chickens. And on this
I love
side,
chickens.
there's horses.
Come on.
You got a farm.
You had a farm.
Beautiful.
Okay, just a little child's quilt.
And you just give us, maybe it's a Christmas present, maybe it'll be.
Yeah, or maybe when as a baby gift, or you know, just for them to curl up and get cozy in.
This was passed down from your mother, your grandmother?
My grandmother was the quilter in our family, and after she passed away, I realized we have no quilters left in our family.
Oh my.
So I decided I better take the torch, and maybe that's why it's starting to come back. More people are starting to realize that, you know, the older population is not with us anymore, so they're wanting to you know, resurrect it. Yeah.
Very nice. And I noticed this one, very kind of kid-like with the Ninja Turtles.
With the Ninja Turtles, and this is actually a tied quilt. If you'll notice here, there's little ties in there. So instead of quilting it on a machine, I did actually use a needle and go through and just tie that. So, and that's a very old quilting technique to tie.
How long would it take to do one of these?
Depends on how diligent I am.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, for an amateur like Kate and myself, we're looking at
It's actually
years.
very simple. No, as long as you can sew a straight line, you can quilt.
Okay, years for me.
Yeah.
I can sew a straight line with the sewing machine.
Show off.
My grandma did teach me that.
So as long as you can sew a straight line, sew the pieces together, you can quilt.
Are these more just decorative, or is there a practical application to some of the work that you've done here? Because I know that this is a pillowcase, correct?
This is a pillowcase. This is actually sits in my living room.
So there's
with
some
a pillow
practical
in it.
application.
Oh, absolutely. This one down here with the clocks on it, that quilt is called Nothing But Time, and it's usually in my fifth wheel, because when I'm in my fifth wheel, I have nothing but time.
There's an event that is happening at Spruce Meadows Friday and Saturday. That's why we brought Candice in to show off some of her great work. What will we find when we go to Spruce Meadows this weekend?
You will find all sorts of vendors.
We'll find you?
Yes, you'll find me. I work for a store in Calgary called The Sewing Sensation, and we have a booth down there. You'll find all sorts of new technology, new techniques, you know, the latest and the greatest, all on display. So if you thinking that you want to get into any kind of sewing, whether it be quilting or just, you know, sewing your basic aprons or clothes, they have all sorts of vendors there that have little classes, some that you need to register for and some that are just drop in and you can just
There you go. You can learn this weekend.
You could learn this weekend.
Technology is actually changing the industry as well, too.
Oh, absolutely. This quilt that I've just started is all done with an embroidery machine, and it does all the embroidery work.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But you don't need that kind of machine to be able to do some of this work. If you've got a machine that can straight stitch and zigzag, you're good to go.
Candice, thank you for bringing this in, and good luck this weekend, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. So thank you for showing off your stuff.
You're most welcome.
Of course, she's very, very good. Here's what's happening in and around our city as well, too. Yes, this event is happening Friday and Saturday at Spruce Meadows, but also Calgary Stampede opens its doors this weekend, offering up a behind-the-scenes look at the Stampede Grandstand, the rodeo shoots, and the Chuck Wagon Barns. Tours run every half hour, oh, get this, with a free pancake breakfast. www.calgarystampede.com. This is Trending on Shaw.